Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and today I am very privileged to be able to review this Jaguar XKR 5 litre supercharged. So I parked up here in Lancashire. I think we're in the village of Hornby, beautiful part of the world. We're outside the Royal Oak pub here. First things first, a massive thank you to Dave, whose car this is. We were talking about this car for quite some time. He said, come and review it, and I had to leap at the chance. So what are we looking at? We are looking at the spiritual successor to the E-Type Jaguar, the spiritual successor to the XKs of the 1950s. The spiritual successor, of course, the direct successor of the first generation XKs, the XK8 and the XKR, which of course took over in 1996 from the XJS. So we've got here, this is the one that you want to drive. This is the 5 litre supercharged version. It's putting out 510 brake horsepower. I've just driven it here. I'm quite excited because this thing shifts. It's got some various settings we'll have a look at in a sec, which make it go very, very quickly. I'm conscious this car park's filling up, so we'll have to probably move in a minute because we're going to stop people getting their dinners. But yeah, this thing certainly moves. I've just had it in sports mode. It was really, really nippy, I think is the word. I was thrown back in my seat. We'll have a good close look round the car, and then we'll take it out for a drive, and hopefully you'll be able to hear that lovely AJ V8 engine with the supercharger growling away, and it really is very nice indeed. So this sleek beast is quite a far cry from the usual kind of everyman cars that I review on this channel, but I love British cars, you know, whether they're the most basic Rover 25 or something like this, which is related to the Aston Martins. Design is the same. This is an all aluminium construction. There's only 2 welds on this car. You've got welded here at each corner of the windscreen. The rest of the car is bonded aluminium, and it's got rivets to connect certain pieces as well. So it's a very much a unitized chassis. You've got this great big 21-inch wheels, 22-inch wheels, something like that. I'll pull the bonnet up for you to have a look under there. So our bonnet tilts forward this way. Not a great deal to see. We've got our, it's very much a Jaguar engine, although it's Ford derived and there's Ford components in there. It's very much a Jaguar thing. Beautiful engine, 5 litre, say it's supercharged. You can't really see a lot. We've got this great big engine cover covering everything. We've got these seriously engineered and riveted aluminium strut tops. Absolutely beautiful. Just in case you forget what car you're driving, you've got Jaguar written there. One of the interesting features is the airbags here. So wondering why we've got airbags under the bonnet. Well, in an event of an accident, these airbags deploy and they push the bonnet forward. So a passenger who's getting in the way hits the bonnet, which is then supported by the airbags rather than the engine block, and get mangled that way. So you probably wouldn't want to be hit by one of these at full speed by any part of it, to be honest. But yeah, seriously well engineered car. You can just tell, we'll obviously get out in a moment and drive it, but you can tell everything's very precise, very refined, very good quality. So that's our engine bay. That's the beating heart and probably the most important part of this car. Slight differences to the earlier XKs, the first generation. We've got vents in the bonnet, we're supercharged written down there. We've got rather a sleek bumper, and the lines of this car, it looks low, it is very sleek. It's a beautiful sweeping design, but when you get in it, you don't feel like you're sitting 6 inches off the ground as if you were in a classic Mini or even an MGF, something like that. You do feel, you know, the driving position is really nice, and obviously I'll get into that in more detail in a moment. But yeah, really nice, sleek. It's a big cat. It's what a big cat should look like. You know, Jaguar's grace, space and pace, it's got all of those in abundance. Yeah, really beautiful. Great big drilled, grooved and vented discs. I wouldn't want to guess what size they are, but they're certainly very meaty. Same up the front. We have got a boot. Which I can't open. There we are. Excuse my camera bag. So you have actually got, I mean, this is very much a Grand Tourer. It's you know, couple, you can't really take a family out in it. We'll see why in a moment, but you've got a pretty decent luggage space there. You probably could get some golf clubs in. You can certainly get a couple of weekend bags in there, no problem at all. You've got beautiful quad exit exhaust, so twin pipes on both sides, and that's a difference over the earlier cars and the lower powered cars. But yeah, really nice shaped boot as well, so it's very Grand Tourer-esque in its design. We'll jump inside and have a look because I'm really excited to show you this. Keyless entry, obviously the car's already unlocked. We've got a pretty basic door card in terms of styling. It's, you know, you've got a bit of carbon fibre effect by your window and mirror controls. You've got electric memory seats controlled there. Very nice chrome door pull. And then you've got a B&W speaker system, so main speaker and tweeter in the door. If I just jump in and get cosseted, we've got these beautiful perforated leather seats. They really are comfy. They're sort of semi-buckety, but yeah, certainly hugging your kidneys. I'm not going to try and get in the back, but there's a suggestion of a seat in the back. You probably get a child in there or a pet, but yeah, you really haven't got, I'll just show you that, you really haven't got any legroom. I will just start the car up so I can move the steering wheel. You get a little bit of a V8 roar there, but yeah, here's our dials. So we've got our light controls, boot, fuel flap release there, instrument cluster brightness there. We've got events, of course, and we've got just a really nice dashboard. It's, you know, nothing space age, but it does what it needs to do. Nice big glove box, nice and solid. It feels solid, it feels chunky. On our dials, it's just speedo, rev counter. We've got our fuel gauge down there, little clock in the middle, tells us what gear we're in. So that's really it's all you need to know. It's all you need to know for a driver's car. And then we've got, straight out of a Volvo, we've got this screen with our sat nav, radio, all that kind of gubbins. Haven't played with that. Not really an expert, so I'm the worst person in the world to be playing with stuff like that. Climate control, which works really well. We have got a CD player. This is a 2009 car. Don't be fooled by the W registration. This is a 2009 car. Got various buttons so we can turn our screen off, and then we've got our gear control. So we've got electronic handbrake. We've got the knob, the dial, rather than the J gate like you used to get on the Jaguars back in the day. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then sports. We can turn off the traction control, although that's probably not advisable, particularly seeing as it's slightly damp out here today. We've got some kind of, I think that's maybe a winter setting there. We've got the dynamic mode, which again I'm not going to touch because I don't want to end up in a ditch. It's not my car, and it's got enough go in sports mode, to be honest. And then we've got automatic speed limiter there as well. Just looking at some of the other little details, even the sun visors, they're really plush. We'll push that one back in. We've got a beautiful kind of Alcantara-y style headlining, no sagginess of course, but it's just really, everything's very ergonomic, very, very pleasant. It's a nice place to be, but this kind of pleasantness, got massive bin in there in the armrest. We've got 2 cup holders, great big bin for whatever you want to put in there, sockets for your USB and iPod. We've got some other kind of thing there, I don't know what that is, and then we can slide our armrest back and forth. So if we have got a cup of Starbucks, we can easily put it in there. But yeah, it's all comfy, it's very pleasant, but it belies the 510 lump that growls like an angry big cat that's up front there. So I think with that in mind, we need to get out and give it a damn good drive. Right, so starting the car, it's just a question of pressing this button that I showed you a moment ago. And it's pretty quiet. It sounds quite tame, but if I just blip the throttle, that's quite naughty. I'm hoping the microphone picks it up really well, but I'm going to get out and give it a bit of a drive just to give you some of my thoughts. So yeah, the fact it's a sports car, 510 brake horsepower sports car, you wouldn't think it just getting in it, because it's so comfy. I'm going to move this microphone ever so slightly. Get to use reverse gear for the first time. And we have got a parking aid, and the mirror actually dips down. That's very clever. That's very clever. So that mirror points down when it goes into reverse, so you can see what you're doing. But we're going to get out of here, and we've got some B road up here, and I think this car's going to enjoy B road. So we're in drive. If I just gently, if I'm light-footed, it's quiet, it's quite sedate. So if you're driving around town or through a village like we are here, where we've got a 20 or 30 limit, I hope it's 30, it's no problem. It's not kind of labouring. It's not kind of going, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing to me driving this slowly? It's actually quite happy, just pottering around. We've got cruise control, of course. So if we want to just set it at the speed nice and gently, we can. And that's really good. So we're just coming to a D limit. So I'm just going to get round this corner because I don't know the road at all. I don't want to go booting it round a bend that I have no idea what's there. But just gently accelerate, and it's just, we're up at 50 like that. Don't actually know the 0 to 60 time of this car at all, but I bet it's not very much. Maybe 4.5 seconds, something like that, I would guess. But I'm just, sitting at 50 now. It's cruising quite happily. Oh. So the owner of this car, Dave, sold an MG ZT 260. That's the V8 version of the Rover 75, but in the MG variant, to buy this. He's actually sold 2 MGs to buy this car. And I can see why, because this is very refined indeed. This is just lovely. In fact, we are on a B road. It is a little bit chocker down here, so I'm not able to fully open it up. But I just don't think going on the motorway with a car like this would remotely do it justice. You want to be twisting and turning, not just sitting cruising at 70 miles an hour with all the speed cameras that we have these days. But even though I'm just pottering along at 40 miles an hour, I'm quite happy, because this thing is just so comfy. You have got that massive amount of power there, which we will show you in a sec, because it really does throw you back in your seat. It's quite a jolt. I don't know how many G forces it is when you are thrown back into your seat, but it's quite a few. So we'll get out of this little bit here where it's a bit slow, and we'll give it some beans. Okay, so we're now in sports mode. I'm just going to go back out, and I will give you some bonnet action in a minute as well. But we have got a bit of a D-limit here, so I'm just going to come out of this village in 30, because I'm a responsible citizen, and then we shall get it round this bend, and I think you'll like this sound a lot. I know I do. Wasn't quite chucked back in my seat, but that was up at 70 without even, I didn't even know. I didn't feel it. So I went from 30 to 70 like that. I didn't know about it. I knew the engine was doing something, because it was making the most delightful noise. Wow, that is quite something. We've got to go round here, haven't we? I don't want to get lost, even though getting lost in a car like this wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. That is just lovely. I'd get addicted to this. And this car is for sale as well. But no, I'm not going to buy it, don't worry. I'm reducing the fleet, not expanding it. But that's got some legs. And that engine is barely revving. It's not... V8, you know, it's a big engine. It's 5 litres. It's supercharged. If I slow right down again, we'll do a standing start. I've got a bit of a straight here, so let's see what happens. Almost standing start. Right. Foot flat on the foot. That is insane. That is insane. Just compared to what I normally drive. I know there's cars with bigger brake horsepower out there, but this is enough for me. Compared to what I normally drive, what I normally show you, this is just a different league entirely. When you floor it, the traction control really does its job well. It keeps the car very, very planted. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, really nice part of the world to make a video like this. We have got another D-limit, so I think we should make the most of it. Obviously, bear in mind we've got these average speed cameras. This is seriously nice. I like this a lot. It's a real shame it's just decided to start raining, which is why I've not mounted the cameras outside the car today, so apologies we haven't got any outside action, but no one wants to see a wet screen. But yeah, this is great. Would I have one of these? In a heartbeat. Absolutely. That is, it's just, oh, I'm not out of breath. I'm just really excited. I know I do have asthma, so I sometimes sound a bit wheezy in videos, and I can't help that, I'm afraid, but I'm panting because I am so very, very excited about driving this car. It is immense. It is really immense. Slow down to 30. The brakes are big and beefy, so it does that no problem. Right, so back in sports mode, you have to push the button down so you can't accidentally go into that. Let's just get back up to Dave's house and conclude this video. But this is, what a privilege. Thank you, Dave, for letting me drive your XKR 5 litre supercharged, 510 brake horsepower, extremely comfy, this is the sort of car that I would get a lot of speeding tickets in, because you're up the speed limit very, very quickly without any effort. I mean, that's, you know, basic. I mean, these cars, I think they're either limited at 155 or 174 miles an hour. That's limited. What they go to without a limiter, I'd be guessing if I said it. But yeah, this is just, it's just lovely. It's refined, but it's got this menacing power and noise when you plant your foot down. But it delivers what Dave sold an MG ZT 260. They've got a big beefy V8 engine, lazy V8, 258 brake horsepower, so nothing to write home about. You can tune them up to anywhere between 350 and 500 brake, but they don't put it on the ground that well. That's the important thing. It's what it's doing at the rear wheels. This puts its power down seriously well. You've got a very good traction control. The axle, the chassis can really take it. It's not trying to be something it's not. And that's my overriding impression. It's just an absolute pleasure to drive it. I'm just pottering through this village of Hornby again, and it's it's no sweat driving at 30. I'm not kind of going, oh yeah, I do want to put my foot down, of course I do, and I'm going to. Well, I've only got 20 miles an hour to play with, because through here we've got a 50 mile an hour limit, but we'll just give you a bit of a growl just so you can hear it. But yeah, what a wonderful thing. If you are looking to buy one and it's your bag, buy it. Would I buy one? Yes. Am I going to buy one right now? No. But that's because of my personal reasons. But if you're viewing this because you're looking to buy one of these cars and you're coming from something lower powered, but you want the refinement, you want the comfort of your BMW or your Mercedes or your Rover 75, then you're not going to be disappointed by buying this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more reviews like this. Don't forget to like, share with your friends, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you again very soon on the next episode of Beards and Bangers. Goodbye.